Hey everybody, clearing. All right, so this is going to be a Divine Masculine check-in. We're going to look at where the Divine Masculines are at, mind, body, and soul, and what the Divine Feminines need to know about that. So let's have a look. Thank you, Divine Creator, for using me as a channel of only the highest, most beneficial information coming through for my beautiful viewers that join me here. What is it we can see for how the masculines are navigating and viewing, experiencing this journey? Mind, body, and soul. A little bit of shuffling to do still. I always do a pre-shuffle and pray and ask for guidance on how the reading will go, or what type of decks to use for each, what format to bring through. But here you go. You can't usually see me shuffling. Now you know I actually do it. Okay, one more. Thank you, Divine Creator, for only the best coming through. Most relevant. All right. Masculines, mind, body, soul. What are they thinking of the connection? Oh, so in their mind, they've had a tower moment. They have, so yeah, masculines, you might have found you could have had a dream. You could have overnight, something just shifted. You could have had one experience in this connection that was, you know, that, I don't want to say the straw that broke the camel's back, but if ego and resistance and hesitation were the camel's back, something just happened. And we get, so that's consciously, there's a tower moment. In your body, there's this commitment. So it's like your body is your counterpart's body. So that could, you know, this is the life partner, hubby energy. Take gender how it resonates, but this is like the one. Your body itself is being recognized, or it recognizes. I'm hearing muscle memory, perfect fit, key and lock. There's something about your body that knows your counterpart's body as though it's your own, as though it's yours. I'm hearing, you are mine. You are of me. We are made for each other, the same. There's something like that. So on the mind space, there is a instantaneous internal change that changes everything. And this brand new way of looking at the connection, the chemistry. So masculines, you may have thought that this was chemistry or lust. Now it looks like you've changed your mind in an instant here. And now you literally see that you could actually be made for someone, that they physically could actually be for you that way. How beautiful. And energetically, soul, commitment. This is my card of commitment. So this is the validation, this connection, something, feminines, has changed for your masculine. And now they want to be flexible and find a resolution here, because they now know that it's not even energetic, emotional, or mental. Your bodies are actually a perfect match. And that is a blueprint. That is an indicator that this isn't by chance, that it is inescapable. They're not going to find another click like you that way. So on every level, they're starting to embrace this and desire resolution here. What do the feminines need to know? Yeah, energetically, you might have been picking up on this as well. This can be rapid movement, love messages. This is telepathic energy. You might have been feeling this tower or know exactly what I'm talking about that has just rolled out through your connection with this eclipse portal season. This does sort of speak of the embrace the sun is about to have on the 8th with the moon. That consummation, the coming into oneness. So the masculines are feeling this, and feminines, you may be feeling this too. Your worthiness might, on such a deep level, just be picking up on the security you have with your counterpart. If that hasn't happened for you yet, it may click when you're masculine, because it's not, this is a collective reading. So there's various energies and timelines. So when this energy happens for your masculine, you'll feel it in form of, I'm getting literally, you'll feel more attractive. You'll feel more grounded, balanced, whole, no more temptation, no more uncertainty. There is a knowing that's transferred between the two here when the masculine syncs up. When the masculine has this recognition on a cellular, physical level that is in alignment with mind, body, and soul. So this eclipse, for those who are at this stage of union, this eclipse is bringing in the final closure from separation, cycles of separation between the two. If you're at a earlier on developmental stage of the merging process, this is a layer of the onion. And so these readings apply to people at all stages of their journey. And you know, the revelations that happen, revelations are like revolutions. There are cycles of them. And each time we come back around to something that calibrates and sharpens, it becomes more and more authentic, more and more grounded, more and more real. And so for some, this is going to be the last separation that you have with this person. That is so beautiful. What are the masculines thinking on the mind space about the feminine? Their emotions can barely be contained anymore. So they are starting to understand that you are the one that makes them feel. Feminines, masculines, you may be having emotional responses that are atypical, and you're asking, or you have been asking, why this person? What is this hold on me? Why is this person so perpetual? This could be connected with the tower that you've had internally about how unique the connection with this particular person is, and that it affects you more deeply, more differently than any other connections that you've had. What is your body thinking of this? Wow, we get the Queen of Pentacles in the inverse, which is the yin yang with the King of Pentacles. So again, consciously, your body knows your person, that you are this perfect match. Hello, you guys, like King and Queen of Pentacles in the yin yang tumble here. So yeah, I just heard the masculines really want to make love and roll with you like this and be in full surrender physically. Their emotions are causing them to know they don't and can't hold back much longer. On the soul level, spiritual gifts, mystery, enchantment, and secrets. Okay, so for many, this has been sort of a secret connection. So many reasons why that can happen. Some of it is that spiritually realized feminines have, you know, not been historically in recent eons able to come out into broad daylight. I personally believe that any intuitive masculines resist highly spiritual feminines as a protection that's encoded in past life memories and cellular memory from when the feminines were murdered for being spiritually realized. And our beautiful, sacred, masculine brothers, fathers, lovers had to deny connection to spiritually realized feminines out of protection. And so that wall of idiocy, that's the word that came. Let me unpack that. It's not derogatory. It is talking about how that no longer pertains. It would be futile and unwarranted to keep adhering to that level of code of conduct. There really is no reason anymore. And I'm seeing it as above, so below, in the sense that our societies are actually allowing for spiritually realized feminine energy to be safe and seen. And so as that is shifting collectively, the masculines are also seeing the merit, the internal recognition, the celebration of the benefit of a highly intuitive, highly ascended, conscious feminine lover, partner. It's no longer satisfactory for these masculines to be in a purely three-dimensional or material realm based connection. The spiritual giftings that are not satiated in a material template have been awakened, and the masculines need to have this eternal connection now with someone. They cannot settle for a hollow, empty connection with somebody who does not know themselves this well ever again. What is the advice for the feminines? Justice. Now it's on the table, but not in the upright. So there are still things that need to come into fruition. I'm getting, if feminines, if you have any legal matters that are still dangling, you need to close that out. That means financial things, anything that you still have loose ends that connects you to people, places, and things from your past that has nothing to do with your masculine. So anything karmically that you know you need to release, up level from, that is your whole homework right now, is to continue balancing those things out. This can be emotional justice. It can also be these spiritual gifts. Let's have a look at what the masculines' mind, body, and soul are feeling on the heart space. Okay, anxiety in the inverse on the mind space. So this is the masculines overcoming anxiety consciously because their hearts are winning out in this process. So their hearts are putting their overthinking, their anxiety to ease. This tower moment, seeing how you, feminine, influence, just by being you influence your masculine on such a deep level that they are done resisting. They can't hold back anymore. And the anxiety that was there in the past when they were not fully surrendered to the truth of this connection is being put down. Body, the Knight of Cups. So this is self-love. This is worthiness. So body image, the view that they have about their place, their belonging, their set and setting as far as their confidence, anything that they don't feel secure about, they are seeing that any anxiety in the past, not any, some, half, was a projection of some of these insecurities. They're really facing these insecurities that were cloaked, masked underneath polarizing projections on the feminine. That's going to be different for whatever the obstacles have been in your connection. There have been these shadow thoughts in the masculines that have been insecure about themselves that have arisen around the same times that they have polarized the feminine. That's a fancy, long-winded way of saying triggered, the guides are saying. So when they've been triggered in your connection and made the feminine the foe, the opposition, there have been these covert insecurities that the masculines are now able to see for what they are, because the projection isn't there, because the resistance has been dropped or is in the process of being dropped, because there is an embrace of the compatibility on that level, that this is the kind of connection that defies logic, but the only reasonable assessment is that you are their perfect match, even down to the physical. How beautiful. What is the energetic level here? Joy, playfulness, and pleasure, heart of the Pentagon. Wow, so I just heard 2023 was this remembrance of joy. And because that was anchored, the happiness in each individual was anchored in 2023, 2024 is a foundational year where that joy has been secured in each individual. The instructions came through for each to make major changes in their lives. Just know and recognize what you've done, viewer. And whether you're masculine or feminine, your person has also undergone activations and decisions and plans to actively chase their joy and bring it into their daily experience. This has to do with self-love, ending the anxiety. This is another fancy way of saying living in alignment. What is the advice for the feminines? Dry your tears. Pat your weary heart. This full choosing from the masculines of their feminine is the reason that the masculines have not come forward. They know what you're worth, feminines, even beyond where you've known that you were worthy of the best anyone could offer, which is their entire heart. So if you've been confused about why your masculine hasn't chosen you, it hasn't been because you haven't been worthy. It's literally because they had to go through the process of confirmation, and they had to go through the spiritual fire, the rite of passage, to qualify themselves to know their heart well enough to see that you not only are in alignment with their heart, but therefore on every level, as they love themselves, they love you. They don't have that reflection with anybody other than their divine counterpart. This is the aha moment that has gone off. I'm seeing a match striking and lighting. It's the ignition. When the masculines understand that you truly are in a different category than anybody else. And now they're starting to see a lot of the weirdness in the connection has been because you are not like any other connection they have ever had. And instead of that being foe, they are now seeing that as friend. I just posted something shared a story on my Instagram. It was Nietzsche, all about how love is the highest form of friendship. So yeah, masculines have had historic trouble here trying to figure out if this is friends or more than friends, or when that ebb and flow is the changing of the guards. That's the temperance process. And so there seems to be, for the forerunners here that are about to come into union, a deep recognition that there is no more uncertainty that way. And again, if your connection isn't at that stage, this is a layer of that uncertainty being pulled apart or pulled away, stripped off, the facade, one of those veils, one of the masks being removed. of consciousness. And that only happens when you go through the gates of perception. As you become more and more love, different, recognizable markers are crossed and passed. And so, yes, the masculines are shedding one more layer of resistance because they are seeing the alignment. What is on the heart of hearts consciously? Oh, yeah, we got another yin-yang with this heartache. Feel it to heal it. So masculines know that you affect them in a way that is so much more central, intimate, edgy than anybody else has. Also more beautiful, sincere, divine. And so they know that because you've gone through so many trials and tribulations prior to meeting, because you've both been diamond forged, and additionally, once you met each other, you've been put through this process, the squeeze, the becoming, the birthing of these connections, the journey. They really feel like they could go through anything with you. This is the proving ground. This is the acknowledgement that there is nothing the two of you cannot handle together with flying colors. Because of your love, your heart feminines, your unconditional love, and your masculine's unconditional love. These are cycles that take two, and you have not been the only one in this connection. There are a lot of ways you can come back into connection with somebody you're estranged from, so that you can know if you choose them. If it's unfinished business, viewer, you do have the ability to put down your fear, your insecurities, and bridge. If you've been out of contact for a long time and you're not seeing any movement, it may be because you're at a developmental stage where you need to bravely align with the appropriate action from first person. I can help you with that if that's what you would like to do. When I open sessions again, I welcome you to come into that, living bravely, unapologetically as you. There is no reason why, through appropriate communication, you should be indefinitely out of touch with a person that you esteem high enough to watch a video like this with. I can help you there. That is a developmental marker. And then once you connect with that person and begin a deepening process, this doesn't just apply to romantic. It can also apply to other friends, family, circumstances that need healing. And so if you can look at it in non-attachment, as though you're continuing to do your best and to offer genuine connection with no strings attached, with those who are dear to you, that you appreciate, if you actually come into that soft appreciation, there is no person that in their right mind that would reject somebody in that energy, especially if you have had a connection in the past that would warrant watching this video. Allow that worthiness to sink in. If you are coming into these final stages of union on all levels, and just for those who are curious, I work with couples all the time in my private setting, in my sessions. I work with masculines and feminines. I work with couples in all stages of union, doing all kinds of things, including counseling on shared mission and deepening in those soul paths. So it's not just, divine feminines that aren't sure if it's their twin flame. It's the whole spectrum. It is a beautiful sacred work. These journeys forge these connections prior to committing to each other as life partners. A sacred journey is a proving ground without asking. It is an exploration that culminates in mutual choice of each other. Many of our convenience survival relationships are premature marriages or living together where the two don't really know each other and haven't really satisfied that curiosity about what would happen when push comes to shove. And then the connection, the foundation is not strong enough to withstand those storms. These connections, if done with higher guidance, forge an unbreakable bond between two prior to committing on that level so that there can be success. It is not wishful thinking. It is not deluded. It is not immature. It's true and real. Okay, what can we see for heart space, conscious mind for the feminine? Queen of Cups, unconditional love. These masculines know how psychically in tuned you are time and time again, even if they have not confirmed or validated, you blow them out of the water with how connected you are and how you share that with them. So that's on the conscious mind. They cannot miss it. They know how aligned you are. The things you say are not off-putting, they're awe-inspiring. Your masculine does not reject those truths. Your masculine rejects energy that is not matured. So don't think that you sharing your emotions or the connectivity that you experience is the thing that is off-putting. With the right person, those things bring you closer, especially if shared with love, not fear, and just affirmed and acknowledged. Those things are vital in demonstrating a shared awareness of the level of connection here. What is in their body? Temperance, non-reactivity, balance. They are no longer rejecting the incredible tapestry of connection that you share because the fear, the uncertainty, the developmental energies are balanced out. Temperance is at peace internally, emotional balance, compassionate non-attachment. It's not taken for granted, but it's a full-hearted acceptance. And so their body feels calm when they think of you. You put their neurology at ease. You put their body into a peaceful state where they feel fluid. What is the energetic? Gate of returning, entrance, death, rebirth, passage. This can be like an eclipse coming back around. So this balancing that the masculines have needed to do was a prerequisite to come back in. What is the advice for the feminines? Knight of Wands. Yeah, so this is my player card, or the hot and cold ghosting. I don't even like it to be used as a player energy for twin flame or divine counterpart readings. But it can be that elusive crossover. So many karmic relationships do have a lot of manipulation going on. And as you wake up to a aligned connection, or you're getting into the higher levels of conscious understanding of relationships, you might be concerned that these connections have an element of this player energy. It gets released as you go deeper into sacred union. As you begin to align even further, you won't be confused about whether or not this particular person is playing you, or if it has truly been this alchemical process. If you are being played and the person does not care about you, please do not delude yourself that it's a high-level counterpart. Get yourself out of that situation. If somebody is abusing you, there is a massive difference. You have to make sure, though, that you are masterful enough to tell the difference. Because on the surface, some things, aside from overt harm, seem the same. In aligned connections, when looked at from the surface, with those kind of connections that are very disintegrated. And so I do not read disintegrated connections. If you need help figuring out if your trauma and your read on your scenario is disintegrated or aligned, come talk to me and we can look at the frequency of what you're dealing with, and I can let you know if it is disintegrated or not. I won't tell you if it's your twin or your person. Only you get to decide that. But we can look at some of the things for food for thought. So that's interesting. But yes, your advice here, feminines, is that you will be seeing progress. It won't be fickle. It won't just be for sex anymore. It won't be approached that way. There's a deepening towards fidelity, a deepening of self-trust for both counterparts, and a progress towards this union, sacred union. What is the... Ooh, I got too many here. Okay. I didn't read a layer, so I guess I'll just trust those messages were needing to come through. But what can we see? I'm going to start here at manifestations. What are these masculines wishing to manifest? Okay, they want to deepen this energetic connection, the telepathic connection. So something in your connection has caught the masculines' attention, feminines. There's something about the validity of your energetic or telepathic connection they want to deepen and cultivate. So be very, very open right now. Do be slow to respond and interact with your masculine and feel into what they are saying energetically with everything they do right now, because it's almost like in the 5D, they're coming to you and taking your head and saying, look at me, see me, look at me, trust me. This is different. This connection we share is different. Do not, the masculines are saying, do not continue to be in turmoil about the love here. They're not rejecting you. They're trying to engage you in something much higher dimensional. And so right now, these masculines are wanting this intuitive oneness where you move in unison without even having to talk about it. Feminines, when you really unlock your mastery, you don't actually need to talk to your masculine. Communication, though, is a sacred gift that we can offer to each other when it's warranted. And in these connections, I'm hearing the masculines are so impeccably geared for oneness with you that until you set this bell tone gold frequency between the two of you, they don't unfold, they don't open you, they don't invest to that level until they know you're on the same page and ready to stride with them. Their leadership, their masculine leadership here. What can we see for body? The Hanged One. So there's a feminine on this card. And so the masculines are waiting for you to have this epiphany that it's not been rejection. It's been that they've wanted to slow the pace so that you see them. You're missing their cues. You've been missing some of their cues. That doesn't mean they've always been trying to give you these things. They've tried. But they are developing just like you are, feminines. And your masculine is now at a new level. Take it how it resonates for your situation. Again, there's going to be different layers. Your masculines are all waiting for you to catch on to something right now that's unspoken so that you can continue to be on the same page And so they get that continued confirmation that you're their ride or die. You're the one that gets them. You're the one that trusts. You're the one that sees them. You're the one that's in that dance with them. You don't have a connection like any other connections. And so feminines, you have to get out of your skepticism and really tune in. These connections are at a standstill in the physical until you get this, until you understand that and embody it too, feminines. Are you kidding me? Chamber of Communication, Telepathy, Correspondence, Declaration. So we get my energetic telepathic card. You can't make that up. Masculines are waiting for you to catch on to this. I just say to my person, hello, hi, I see you. I actually had this awareness come to me the other day, and now I'm seeing it in the collective reading, which is so good. What can we see for advice for the feminines? Yeah, King of Pentacles, you've got to call this in. You've got to know inside you that this is your person. You can't just have this wanting, waiting, wishing energy, feminines. You got to bring that knowing into your heart and get on the same page. Connect with your masculine. Believe in the connection. Find the common ground. Soften into what is, where is, as is, and then have it grow. Stop getting ahead of yourself. Don't inflate, don't attach, don't expect. Come back into presence and meet in whatever energy is available to you that is on the same page right now, because that is your seed point of progress for what comes next. If you're over here and your masculine is waiting to get on the same page with you here and wants to be the leader and wants you to be in your feminine and to relax and to open to them and to blossom into this connection, you have to wait. You can't get ahead of yourself. You have to follow your masculine's lead. These masculines are giving you nonverbal cues, waiting for you to come onto that frequency that sees the love that they are giving you. They want to manifest that. This is what they're geared for. They want to get you to come on to the same page. What can we see for the actions the masculines are taking, thinking about? Six of Cups, they want to reunite in this soul level bliss with you. They want to be these two in unison. I'm getting that this one slightly ahead is the masculine, and they're below you to hold you up. They don't want to bring you down. They want to give you loft. What is their physical, the body? Page of Wands. So yeah, I'm getting from this, it's so funny if you can see this person's face. It's like, what erection? I'm not having that happen right now with my feminine. It's kind of like they're like down. Take it gender, but it's a phallic symbol here. And so we're going to just say that they're getting turned on and noticing that their body just doesn't lie. You are the one that does it for them, feminines, and they cannot escape that truth. Like, they light up when they think of you. When they think of you being so attuned, so synchronized with them, that turns them on. When you're on this same page, when you flow with it like you are, deer in the forest, attuned. It's so natural. It's so organic. It's so base. They want to have that level of trust between the two of you so that you can anchor this into a primal experience and an ascended experience. And when they think about you being the person that can be like poetry in motion with them, turns them on. When they think of you getting that, when they think of you coming to the awareness that they've just been watching you wake up, divine feminines, to what they've been offering you, and starting to see you getting it, starting to see you slow down, take a deep breath, express differently, drop in, connect. Woo, they like it. What can we see energetically? Chamber of Incantation, invocation, summoning, ceremony. So feminines, you know, these masculines want to initiate the connection, consummate. This is very eclipse energy based again. So they want to meet. The next time they make love to you, they want to actually meet in this sacred energy. There has to come a time, feminines, where you come out of your hardened skepticism, drop the heart walls, and see the way your masculine has approached this all along as vastly different than you thought it was. They want to meet you in a sacred energy. Your masculine is not unaware. Maybe they've had to see things more and more clearly, but if you've met your actual counterpart, you did not meet somebody that was entirely asleep or unaware. If you're in this level of sacred connection with somebody, that person was just as awake and mirrored as you are when you met, or you would not have connected. And it's been opening and flowering both of you along the way, but essentially you are already contained, like the oak seed. You already contained this tree of life. When you met, you were of that same energy. And so you've got to start looking at the unified timeline here. Feminines, what can we see for advice? Six of Wands, this public victory. So when you have demonstrated to your masculine that you see them for who they are and you're on the same page like that, that's when this connection gradually is introduced into the material realm. It's grounded, it's landed. At every step of the becoming, your masculine has been paving the way for your connection to come into physical reality. They have been a steward. They have been a safekeeper of this fire, of this becoming. They have introduced you in many ways to friends, family, reality, energetically or directly. They have been doing things confidently to bring you in. Feminines, for many, that your masculine has done things that you misread as too aloof, but they are master strategists. They are so aware. You feminines can go into meditation and start looking at some of the things that you didn't think were full on or publicly recognized enough, and you can start to see that your masculine did remarkable things. You just couldn't put your finger on why they were moving the way that they were. It's time to start seeing that your masculine has been like a perfect scientist, not wanting to taint the process by being too involved, but orchestrating. You could say pulling strings, but more allowing each step of the way to see what happens without influencing the result directly. Putting you into scenarios, introducing you into things so subtly, so in such a Taoist way that you may not have even noticed it at the time. Pause the video and have a little think about some of the things that have happened in the past that you were confused about, why your masculine wasn't more direct or overt about it. And just consider that they did not want to add their influence into certain stages of becoming, because they are like a divine creator bringing concepts into reality and then watching the majesty, the magic unfold. It's almost like they put you in the water to see if you can swim, but not because they think you're going to drown, because they think that the way that you swim is so beautiful. And they want to have that understanding of who you are when you don't think they're looking. God bless you, masculines. You are so absolutely beautiful. I see you. With my whole heart, I'm starting to see you. So beautiful. Now, this is not just boyfriend, someone you're dating, feminines. These are for true, conscious, incredible, divine masculines whose hearts have not been hardened by the world entirely, hardened against the crudeness of the world, but not against love. Love matters so much to these masculines that they are willing to fight for this at any cost. And they are willing to go to higher guidance for that truth. These are the good ones, divine feminines. These kind of sacred connections are fairly rare, Not everybody is going to have it. So if this message doesn't actually apply to your connection, you're not hearing it by chance. You are still able to take inspiration that you can and are in the vicinity of a love like this. It is really important, feminines, that you soften to receive your masculine in ways that are not so overt, that you become more masterful, more sensitive, more nuanced. Oh, you masculine lovers, you. Aho. Okay, what can we see for the biggest challenge for the masculines at this time? Queen of Swords, we just got that at the beginning of, it might have been in my mini reading that I just posted. So I was actually fumbling with the masculine feminine polarities instead of just your person. I got a lot of tongue-tied energy because I think heavily the masculine energy, this is a confirmation that the masculines are dropping into the Queen of Swords, the tact, the timing, the grace, the eloquent speech, the subtle, the soft energy here. But that is the biggest challenge, is that they are not just in that domineering King of Swords, they're also in this more softened internal feminine energy that can meet the feminine in feminine energy. Just like feminines, we've seen a lot in this reading to start thinking about the way the masculine hunter moves and reads the signs and tracks and plans and composes and has that container. The feminine needs to understand the masculine for what the masculine is, so that the feminine can feel the love, receive the love. And the masculines are softening at the same time, to the same proportion, into being able to meet the feminine, welcome the feminine, contain the feminine, empathize with the feminine as well. What is the physical of this? The Page of Swords, curiosity. So masculines are feeling in their bodies, like muscle testing, when something feels off or anxious, when something feels out of alignment or in alignment, becoming much more sensitive to that feminine internal knowing as well. Energetic card, harmony, cooperation, dynamic interaction. So this is the merge where the feminine catches on to how the masculine's been navigating, and the masculine catches on to what the feminine needs in navigation. What is the advice for feminines here? The Hanged Man. So we just got those epiphanies that are turning the masculines on, that when you have this aha moment about how your masculine's been trying to get through to you, trying to get on the same page, trying to show you this is far exceeding any mundane relationship. They don't want to convince you just as much as you don't want to convince them, but you have the ability to pull yourself down from this compromised position, from this stalemate, from this stagnant energy, feminine, by seeing your masculine for who they really are and how they've been trying to honor you at a level that you may not have been sensitive enough to see. What is the solution that the masculines are thinking about here? Ace of Pentacles, they're wondering what to offer. They are preparing an offer. They are preparing to come forward in this new energy where they are not just in control or dominating, and where they're not just aloof and distant watching. This is the meeting of that, where those two aspects balance out and masculines are then able to come forward. What is this? Oh, yes. They know the love is here. You may not see it. It does happen when you least suspect it, feminine. So you may not know that your masculine has been healing with the caduceus there, that you've been healing. Your masculine also has not been there yet in the past. This is part of the journey, that your masculine has also realized and become more conscious about their own masculine energy and ways. So the masculine may have had a lot of assumptions, a lot of heartache, a lot of experiences, but they did not know how to describe those things to themselves until they polarized and began this process with you, divine feminines. So they are learning this about themselves as they come into their full potential, into their full embodiment of their highest potential in love. They are understanding themselves and seeing themselves step into what they've always sensed a real masculine would be like. So these time capsule masculine energies that your masculine is beginning to embody and express to the world have been dormant in there, and this connection has been bringing those energies to the surface, and it's been a deep discovery for them. And it goes hand in hand with the feminine recognizing what it is that the masculine is becoming and continuing to be the receptacle, the mirror for the masculine to continue to step into their masculinity as you continue to step into your femininity. What is the energetic card? Seal of Venus, elemental magic, self-love, protection. So these connections have been protected. You cannot say or do the wrong thing in the right scenario with the right person. And so don't worry if you're not at these union ready end of separation stages. Your connection is protected. And these messages can accelerate your awareness of what to look for and how to cultivate it, and also fuel your patience and your enjoyment of this journey. So whether you're masculine or feminine, isn't it a beautiful day on planet Earth that we get to have this level of awareness, and it is being talked about on the internet, being shared around the planet, and our hearts are being put at ease. What is the advice for the feminines? Ooh, the well. So yeah, this is you channeling the life force. This is vitality too. This is the living water. This is the river of life. So feminines, I'm seeing fertility and pregnancy and the generational transference of life here. So special message, anything is possible in these connections that way. The aliveness, the thirst is not in vain. There's a reason why all of the emotion and emotional connection to the things that you've been shown on this journey are there, is because it's coming direct from source. The fear involved, the hesitancy, the skepticism, the uncertainty is not from source. Those are the things we're moving out of the way in order to bring forward this flow. So feminines, you must come into the acceptance, the radical acceptance, if you're truly in a divine connection, of the process. If you're not in a divine connection, you need to end whatever that is that you're in, so you can really begin to channel on this bigger level, more heart-centered level, so that you can manifest your person. What can we see for the direction in the near future? The Magician in the inverse. So masculines are going to be working on secret plans, trips, getaways, honeymoon ideas. There's something that the masculines want to do to make a memory that will last a lifetime. I just saw 5511. That's changes for union, alignment. I'm being shown that the 11 can represent the Two of Wands, which can be a traveling card. So the Magician sometimes can be manipulation. So don't be afraid that your masculine, your true divine masculine is manipulating you, feminines. If you are feeling they are cloaking their energy from you right now, it's literally because they have deemed you worthy to plan something that is going to give the two of you time to unpack some of the things that need to be shared at this level of the journey. Your masculine's heart is getting weary with holding the connection back. They struggle with patience as well, especially lately with the Virgo full moon going into these eclipses. The masculines have been feeling fragile and angry and frustrated and pent up. So if there's been any kind of uncharacteristic volatility or triggers, just know that's part of the process. Again, though, if it's been abusive, it's not divine. Get yourself out of it. But yeah, these magicians are working on something that they are not wanting to blow the surprise with. What is their body? The Emperor. Yeah, they, they're holding back, filling you in on all the details as they see the connection coming on to the same page together. It's giving them more and more surety that whatever they are designing and envisioning for the two of you, there's that globe again there for travel. And these ram skulls I'm seeing are of the 3D. There are ram skulls representing the earth and crystals representing the heavenly frequencies here. So there's a surveying the connection to see where both of you are human and divine, earth and stardust. So the masculines are watching this. This Emperor has a nice little sort of knowing look. And your masculine really does see you as the one that is successfully meeting them on this level. They didn't even know this was possible until they met you. Likewise, you didn't know, feminines, that this kind of connection was possible until you met your masculine, until you met your match. But yeah, sink into the knowing, sink into the peace of the knowing where you don't need to be told. Again, your heart knows if something is a stretch to hang on to, or if this is really your reading and really happening for you yet, or at this time. This is not an exclusive camp. If you're hearing this message, I want to say again, if you are not in a relationship where this level of energy is actually happening for you, don't make it fit if it's not. But if you've watched this video all the way through, really bless your tender heart, your aware, conscious, beautiful diamond heart. It's coming for you. It cannot not come for you if you are of this level of consciousness and purity. Well done. But you do have to release anything that is not love, true love, to make way for this level of experience. What is the energetic perspective, ideals, belief, chamber of illumination? So things are being brought in to this dimension as our belief, our faith, our perspective is up leveling as we continue to grow on this journey. I love the wording that channeled through for the feminines the other day. There was one little brief message that keeps ringing in my head, and it was, the feminine's footbed is eternity now. Because of the discipline, because of the path, this righteousness, feminines, our footbed is on eternity. And so we can look at these connections on this level. If these kinds of cosmic connections are really your story, unfold into reveling in this level of interaction with your person. Breathe it in and say, I receive that level of connection and intimacy that quenches the thirst on my heart, the unknowing. And say yes to that and believe you're worthy of it. If you really, really feel what I'm saying, what's channeling through, open to it. And keep calm and carry on and go about your way and be in joy. Because if you're of the frequency that you can feel what I'm saying, love is knocking at your door. I half expected my door to be knocked on right then. Queen of Pentacles in the inverse. Call it in. Worthiness, feminines. Be this. Exactly what it just channeled through. I'm going to leave it there. Okay, you sacred love bugs. What an honor to deal with all of you. And yeah, enough said for now. Bye. Much love.